Hello YouTube, so for Easter Monday, me and a few friends went to a game store to play a few games, hang out, and to play the recently funded new card game, Story War. At around 5:30 we got kicked out of the game shop, but because we were having so much fun, we went into a nearby park and continued to play a few games. It was at this point that I decided to film a few rounds of Story War, because the stories we were telling were just so funny and interesting, and I wanted to share them with you. So I filmed 3 rounds of the game we were playing, each around 10 to 15 minutes long, and that's what I will be showing you now. Part 1 will be in this video, Part 2 and Part 3 will be up tomorrow and the day after respectively. Short note, because we didn't have a tripod and none of this was planned, the camera is a little bit jumpy and will usually change perspective between a lot of people. I'm sorry, but the main important thing is to listen to the stories and the arguments because they are extremely funny. I hope you enjoy this. I'll see you next week with a more normal video, and don't forget to be awesome.
See how there's dynamite in that bomb?
It can blast me into next week.
It would wound you.
It would wound me?
Yes. You're weakened.
I'm saying I have a week to recover while I wait for them.
Very strange.
You only recover 1 fate point a week if you're heavily wounded, rogue trader.
We're not playing by those rules!
I know.
But however, no, you're
So
not
they show up.
Wait, no.
And then you're like, I'm gonna get out of here.
I strap it to my bomb, to my sword.
I heard bong.
Sorry, sword. I strap it to my sword so it doesn't do damage to me, and since I'm holding my sword, it catapults me into next week.
But then don't you kill your dog then?
No, I'm assuming it's a magic sword.
It's a dog sword.
It's a magic
It's
sword.
a dog.
It's a living sword.
But
It's actually a hologram, but continue.
which means I don't get any of my.
It's a hologram?
So you can't actually hurt anyone.
Right.
Oh, and
I'm in the desert oasis, and this week in the future, which I've been catapulted to, I'm going to argue that you two have been fighting for a week, because I'm not there. The desert oasis has started to slightly dissolve. It's not really a desert oasis.
What the hell does that happen in a week?
Because it's been a week.
So?
Like, I'm assuming the illusion is slowly fading over the week.
When did we say it was an illusion?
Is it an illusion or not?
Yeah, I don't
Or
know.
is it?
It's not what it seems.
It's not what
it
Yeah,
seems.
it's got like but it's an actual oasis.
I'm
Okay.
saying my
The
argument...
oasis is a mirage, basically.
Yeah,
No,
my
saying-
argument is that the mirage has faded over the week. It's faded for me at least. I know I'm
But
actually
you
in the
haven't.
desert.
No, but it hasn't been a week for you. It's been a couple of seconds
Yeah.
for you. For us, for you, it's
Yeah.
probably still an oasis. For us, for whoever out of us survives, it's been.
Fine, I use the time bomb to go into the future to fight whoever survives.
Okay, so I would say that
we're both dead.
I go off and the
Mutual
Minotaur.
kill, I win!
The Minotaur, this guy, he goes off and beats up jocks a lot.
No.
And,
I prefer puzzles.
I'm actually voting
gonna
that. No,
argue-
I'm voting that Excalibur is powerful enough to destroy the gargoyle.
So is it possible
Yeah.
but the
to
holy
buff
water affects the Minotaur.
not-
so it's
No,
a double
but
death, and I have escaped.
No, but the holy
I'm
water
going
wouldn't
to
affect the
play an
Minotaur.
EX
because
or
Holy water
almighty
works
version
like
of a
vampires and
character, then
undead
yes.
and
Yeah,
undead.
but I'm voting that the Minotaur is.
no, but the holy water is scathing to the objectively evil. I'm saying
not
because
objectively evil.
I'm
you're
saying that
objectively
because you fight
Yeah, okay.
jocks and you like fight fire with fire, you are objectively.
I'm
saying
saying that you had to kill Arthur to get Excalibur.
No.
So you are
I got it
objective.
after he died. I looted his crypt.
That's a
That's
No,
not much better.
I got it because it sitting in a crypt does not help protect
Looting a
anyone.
crypt is objectively
No, it's
evil.
not. It's subjectively evil based on the reasoning behind why you're looting a crypt.
Really?
Yes.
The judge will
So,
decide.
No,
we will find out.
Is it subjectively or objectively evil?
You can rule now or later.
Wait, what's the question?
Basically what happened was
So you're
I
using it
looted
for power instead.
Arthur's crypt to get this to
Okay, you
protect
still got high
nerds
priority.
from jocks,
Yep.
which is why I fight jocks all
You're
the
a
time.
dick, and I can hit.
So I looted the king's crypt to get this sword, but I did it to protect
Well,
jocks, to protect nerds from jocks.
Is that
I'm
you can
really
rule now or
abusing
later?
this
Is it
plane.
objectively
Yeah.
or
You get to rule later or now,
subjectively
but just
evil?
letting you know what's going on.
He looted a crypt.
Okay.
You did
So
loot
how
a
much
crypt.
damage is
But I did it to help
He
people.
looted a very important person's crypt.
Also,
He
if you
didn't
have
need
King
Excalibur.
It's King Arthur's
It's done.
crypt.
He could have. He had a perfectly good sword right there.
It's not as good as that one!
He had to get a better one.
I got dual
so
wielding, I
he
needed
could-
another sword.
So he could kill people who were simply like giving other people wedgies. So, oh, you gave somebody wedgies.
No,
guess what?
these
I'm
are
gonna
desert
kill
jocks.
you.
They throw you into the desert and kill you.
It's use of excessive force.
So
That's evil.
evil. I go off and pour my
I dodge.
water over you. I have an infinite amount of water.
That's
Look,
okay.
the water's
It's
falling
okay.
out.
I jump in the oasis and your water doesn't dilute. It doesn't dilute.
I
The
just
Oasis
keep
is a
pouring-
mirage.
It's
No.
not actually an oasis.
I know, but we think it is at the time.
So you
So
jump into sand.
you jump into sand.
Power of perception, guys.
You jump into sand. However, with this
can't-
life potion I have drunk, all like cure all
You don't have
delusion that I
life.
have.
You are made of stone.
But
Ruling. He can't use a life potion like that because he's
It's
sentient
cures-
inside a statue.
I
It's not
disagree.
life.
I would say that it doesn't say
living.
anything about its life. It says that it cures any ailment, and I say
It's
I
not-
suffer
that's
from
true.
the
It's not an
ailment of
ailment.
delusion.
It's not an ailment. It's magic.
I suffer from delusion.
It's not inside your mind. It's projected externally,
Decide.
and therefore an illusion. Not
See what happens?
something within the mind.
No, he can use the life potion
I don't
to
like you being
cure
that close.
his delusion of the
So
oasis.
it's a desert. I see you frolicking around in the sand,
If you
which
came
you
up
think
to
is
me,
the
I would
water.
still run away. I'm not
I
frolicking in the
fly
water.
over you and like
That's,
pour.
Can he fly? He's made of stone.
I have wings.
He's made of stone.
It says on the card that he can fly.
Really?
It's a flying statue.
Holy shit.
So I go off. I fly after you. Essentially, even if you were attacking me, you
You
couldn't
can't
reach
fly
me.
faster than me.
But I am flying
Fly
around.
faster than you. You're not flying.
No, but I
am
can run.
flying around.
I'm half horse, okay? I can run pretty fast.
Okay.
Half full.
I'm arguing that.
Either way, he's still going to show
like
up in a
climbing
week's
Valkyrie.
time.
Okay,
What do you do when he shows up?
When he shows up in a week's time, same tactic. He still thinks that's a desert. I know it's not a desert because I've been drinking life potion the entire week.
He's drunk.
But-
Yeah, but you're going to argue that this guy's also objectively evil.
Ah, true.
How are you going to do that?
He goes off and leaves one of us to fight to the death.
Wait. Stop.
How evil
Wait,
is
I
that?
haven't given. Let
Let room talk.
Yeah. So I'm saying yes, you do defeat the Minotaur, or the Minotaur eventually dies from sand. But I'm saying you're not going to worry that I've disappeared. You have a week. You're really bored. You just
but
fly off and
He
you just.
wouldn't know that
road.
he used the time bomb. I mean, he might see him disappear, but he wouldn't instantaneously know
Yeah.
that
So
it's a time
if
bomb.
I
Okay,
disappeared,
this is not
he
going
wouldn't know
well.
where
He's
I
used
was.
a life
So-
potion to cure delusion.
Yeah. So he would just
Yeah,
fly off. He
I
would
use
leave me
life
alone.
potion to cure delusion. I am
That
not
doesn't make
delusional
you
about
know that.
the-
It
Wait,
doesn't.
hang
Yeah,
on.
I
That's true. That's
challenge.
true.
It doesn't make him know that I used a
What
time
I'm
bomb.
doing
You
then.
don't know that
Just
he's
a
used a
minute.
time bomb.
Yeah. So
I
I say that he
I thought
flies
that's why
off,
you didn't
that he
like me
doesn't
that
know I'm
close.
here. So I appear. I'm like, cool. Everybody's gone, so I'm
I
able
don't
to
like you
walk
being that close
off
now.
and go back
I
to wherever I
cleave-
came from.
if it was
He
any
dies in the
other
desert
place,
because he's
I'd be
stoned.
okay with you
The
being
stun
close.
fries him. He can
The
only
entire
use the
plan
life potion once.
is
It's not a
ruined because
continuous
of
use.
that.
So I say I have escaped the battle.
Matt, so here's the crazy, ridiculous, improbable thing that I'm doing. So he wounds me with the water, but I managed to cleave him in half with this skeleton sword.
I then say you die
because
It's
he's
an
made
OP
of
sword.
stone.
It's an OP sword. It's
It
the
is
king's
King Arthur's
sword.
sword.
But I am like 10 feet in the air.
That's okay. No, this is you wound me with it, but I can jump. I'm freaking half bull. Okay, I can jump.
Okay,
that
I'm
high.
20 feet in the air.
That's-
Then I say you
30
die.
feet
You
in the
die.
air. 40 feet.
You can buck like a bucking bull.
Point is, however you want to do it, you want to do final
Yeah,
answer?
I'm going to say final arguments now.
Okay. Going with Aden and then round.
Yeah, we'll start with Aiden.
Okay, so he's
Why would I do
disappeared. I'm going to acknowledge that as fact. He's disappeared for a week with his bomb.
Dirty bird.
He decides I'm objectively evil. Turns out to be true. So he's attacking me with holy water. He becomes undelusional, whatever.
I have
Disillusioned.
stun
what's the word?
immunity.
And so he's attacking me with holy water. I attempt to cleave him with my sword, and I cleave off one of his wings, which makes him, unstable. So
on
he
the
still
other
kind of
hand,
fly,
I
but
was
not very
totally
well.
expecting you
At
to
which
move
point,
away.
through the searing pain of being poured on with holy water, I
I
buck
didn't.
him and kick him, which completely destroys the stone,
I'm
ending
not
his
gonna spend
life.
any tokens,
or whatever you want to call it. I don't think it was life.
but I do hit you.
Anyway,
No
after a
damage.
week, he appears, and
Yes, I do
he
get
just appears
super
on my
shadow.
sword, and he's dead.
So.
My go. No, this is fine. I feel that I go off and I am flying too high to see the Minotaur.
No,
So
actually, you
I
did
see him
fail.
dive into the oasis, but
Yeah.
I'm like Wait a second. What if it's not actually an oasis? I need to clear this out. So I go off and use my life potion and see that, hey, it's not a oasis. And so the Minotaur's like swimming around in the oasis like, oh, he can't see me. I'm hidden under here. He's not going to be able to get me with his holy water because he'll be too delusional. And I like fly over on top of him, and I'm a good like 20, 30 feet up. He's not going to be able to jump up that high, seriously. And like start pouring the stuff on him, and all of a sudden he feels this burning sensation, at which point he's like panicking and really getting really worried about this stuff, and so all of a sudden he dies pretty much in the holy water. So, however, I'm a gargoyle. I don't really have anywhere to be because, you know, I'm a gargoyle. So I just sit there and wait for something exciting to happen. And guess what happens? Really exciting, in a week's time, Danny appears. And I'm like, what? However, Danny, when he got yanked through time by his arm, he dislocated his shoulder from the, like, sword traveling forward. It was a bit of a confusing pull. And Danny is weakened. He can't swing his sword all that well. And the fact that he went off and left his... and, like, he can't swing his sword all that well. His arm really hurts. He's really got no real way to defend himself. So using the spear I have here, I go off and kill Danny.
That's nice. Alright. So Danny is walking through the desert oasis. He's going on an adventure. He's walking through the desert and he sees this oasis and he's thinking, oh, this might be a mirage. Then he sees a massive minotaur and a gargoyle are fighting each other, so he's like, oh no, I better use this time bomb that I have to transport to a week. Hopefully they'll both be dead, otherwise they'll be tied from battling, I'll be fine. So he transports forward. The minotaur then starts fighting the gargoyle. The gargoyle pours the water on the minotaur.
I don't want to interrupt, but can you say what happened? Because you wouldn't be there, so you wouldn't have...
I can say what happens because it's crucial to my story. There's final arguments. So I can take it from...
Exceedingly useful during this.
So the gargoyle does pour the water on the minotaur, weakening him. The Minotaur, however, does then he's so enraged that he does jump up high enough to cleave the
move up to 4 space.
the wing off the gargoyle and fall back to the ground. However, over a week, I'm assuming the water will have some effect. So he dies in a week, and then I appear, and the gargoyle's there, and he's wounded.
Yeah, well, this one gives me 3 paradigms at
hey,
once.
just so happens there's Excalibur there, that on the Minotaur's body. So I pick up Excalibur, and I manage to kill the gargoyle. Even if I'm wounded from the time bomb, the gargoyle is more wounded that he can't move because the Minotaur has hurt him. So what happens?
Okay. Oh gosh, now I have to tell a story. Alright. So
Story time with Matty G.
this is exactly what it is. Okay. So the 3 of you are all trying to cross across the desert.
I have loads of stuff.
And you're all coming from 3 different directions, and you all see the oasis. It's a mirage. It's not really a desert, but you don't know that. None of you do. So you're all going up to the oasis, and before you all get there, you all see each other. And you, because you don't want to get into a fight, you knock yourself into next week using the bomb which you've attached to your sword.
Do nothing to you.
But
then finally assume the paradigm
there's a like equal and opposite reaction. So you knock your boots into last week. So they travel back in time. So you have no shoes when you appear in next week, which is going to be bad when you're trying to walk on the hot sand. So you can't get out of the desert.
I'm saying I survived longest. Alright, so what happens between these two?
So now it's down to the 2 of you. You both run for the oasis. Because if you control that territory, then you've got the safest spot in the desert. You can survive the night.
Damn it, it's really hard to stop you from...
But the gargoyle is like, what if it's not actually an oasis? So it uses the life potion to cure its,
illusion.
Yeah, its illusion.
Keeping in mind...
So it realizes that it's not actually an oasis, that it's actually just like sand and a rock in the middle of the desert.
No, that doesn't matter. Because this thing...
So it hangs back, and the Minotaur gets there first, and it's like, huh. So the gargoyle has the advantage that it can approach slowly, knowing that it's not going to lose. And it flies above the Minotaur and uses its holy water.
I'd like to point out,
and the Minotaur dies. So the gargoyle wins.
Albie.
What? I'm not dead!
No, and then you show up. Well, it wins this battle.
It's actually useless.
The gargoyle stays there,
That's
and
why
it's
I'm
got
frustrated.
Excalibur's
You know what
sword
I
now.
think-
It takes
I
the
think-
item from you.
I think we need to be very picky about
I get it to
there are
have
some
two
good
because
levels
I
and
had
there are
one
some
on my
not so
body
good
as well.
levels.
Yeah, this one's not so good.
You don't have two
No,
Excaliburs.
No, I had
You
it.
also have a sword,
Yeah,
but it would take
after this, we won't have
Excalibur.
another
Take
one.
both.
Yeah,
Because it
not
only
have
has like
level.
one hand, the other
Actually,
hand is
you know what,
using
with all these
to
fucking
wield its
overs, do we want
water.
to just forget this match?
The-
Start again
Over this
without
week
things
that it's been
immediately?
waiting there, it starts to run out of water. Because the hot
Just
sun
so
beating
many things
down.
went wrong.
So it's getting dehydrated, so it
wrong.
decides to leave the desert. And then you show up and you can't go anywhere, and you're stuck on a rock in the middle of the hot sun. Because you have no feet. And you die.
I have no feet.
Well, you have no boots on your feet.
Just be like,
Alright.
Okay.
So the gargoyle lives longer.
Okay.
this is how
okay.
I've been putting the
Okay, I got